Hello and welcome to a brand new season of Union Insider presented by Independence Blue Cross. I'm Sage Hurley. Here's what we've got coming up for you over the course of the next half hour. We'll take you through the Union's internationally spiced offseason and run down the new faces and new places you will see starting with tomorrow's season opener. Plus, Apple TV Sign Live reporter Andrew Wiebe joins us to talk everything from the national perception of this Union team to where this season's home kit ranks amongst the Union's all-time top looks. And later, Sheanon Williams will give you his projected starting lineup and keys to a Union win over DC United in tomorrow night's 2026 curtain raiser. But first, let's get you caught up on the evolution of the roster construction undertaken by the Union this offseason. There were a number of high-profile departures. The likes of Ty Baribo and Jacob Glesnes were traded for millions in intra-league funds. Baribo will likely lead the line for DC in tomorrow's match. More on him later. Kai Wagner made the move to Europe in a multi-million-dollar deal and is now running the flanks for Birmingham City FC in the English Championship. Mikael Uwa was the other departure of note, heading back to a club in his native Denmark. That gave the Union two clear areas of need, the first being defense, where the boys in blue added the likes of Jafet Sari Larson, a sturdy and mobile center back, to partner Arwetu Makanya following his stellar season last year. Janer Martinez and Finn Sudstrom also added to the defensive structure. The other big area of spend was up front, Ezekiel Alado taking over as the new club record signing from his likely strike partner on most weekends, Bruno Damiani. Then, later in the window, the club signed Miami-born Augustine Anello from Boston River. He's a small, speedy type to help bolster production from the wings. Now that you're all caught up on the ins and outs, it's time for a peek behind the curtain at the team's off-season preparations. Here's a look at what went down the last few months, both on and off the pitch.
Okay, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. Hope you had a good first night.
The process and structure is the same. The facilities are great. The hotel, we came back to the same place. It's an excellent facility for us to focus on the job at hand.
Yeah, we arrived yesterday. It's been a long travel day. So we get the legs going, a little activated with Vince.
The goal is, for me, always first and foremost, be damn difficult to play against. You know, that's what it is. That's our signature. That's who we are. We want to show fight. We want to show passion. We want to show commitment, and also belief in what we do. You know, we freshen things up a little bit in terms of how we, approach the individual. And this is a big focus for us in 2026. Is we want to focus a lot more on the individual to really push them along, whether it's in a group setting or a unit setting or even a one-on-one, whether it's on the field or in a discussion with video learning. We've seen a lot of learning happening over the year. We set a really high bar, and that's the next level for us to even go a step further. Love the effort, I love the engagement from the players, the energy is really good. We have some good people in here, we brought in good characters, good players, and now it's just about how they fit into the piece of our puzzle. How can we utilize their strengths to our benefit to let them succeed as individuals and us as a team. I want to give them a great platform to be part of them. I've walked the walk, I've been part of that journey. And I know the ups and downs, right? And in order to connect with different characters and different people and the relationships with players, the connection with players, the environment you create around you, I think that's a big pillar and a big platform. And then it's also important to have an hour or two a day for yourself.
Finally, man, the safety. Need some changes in my mind. The safety. I know. I wish I could learn that.
I'm the guy, everybody said everything for the team to get a good haircut, to look good on the field.
I know I was beautiful before, I'm even more beautiful now. Muy beautiful. Muy beautiful.
Good blow, high intensity, just do your job, man, you'll be fine. Trust me, you'll be fine. Okay.
1, 2, 3, shot!
year 7 at the club. So yeah, it's just an honor to be able to wear the captain's band. Everyone wants to compete, everyone wants to be able to play, and it brings the best out of everybody. So we're just going to enjoy the time that we have here and go day by day.
Now, there are few people more qualified to talk about this Union team's prospects than broadcast analyst Danny Higginbottom. Our Dave Leno sat down with the Stoke City legend to get his take on the Union's offseason haul and how he thinks some of those pieces figure to fit together.
Welcome to our Philadelphia Union 2026 season preview. I'm Dave Leno, and I'm pleased to be joined by Apple TV broadcaster and a proud alum of our Union local TV broadcast, Danny Higginbottom. Danny, thank you so much for being here.
It's lovely. Yeah. It's lovely to be here, to see some old faces once again is great. It's always a pleasure.
It's always enjoyable doing this with you, Danny. You do a remarkable job on Apple TV with many of your colleagues who are dear friends. I want to start off by saying first, how's the offseason going? I know it's a big year upcoming for the World Cup, and you have a lot of big broadcasts ahead for yourself as well. Yeah,
there's a lot going on. It's been nice. I've had a little bit of a break, obviously, since MLS start's been doing, the Premier League with NBC. But it's been nice to have a little bit of a break, but you can just feel everything's just starting to, which I'm sure has been the same for you. Everything's starting to pick up now. You see the fixtures coming out, and all of a sudden it's like it flies by, and before you know it, the season will be starting. Well,
I'm just like you and a lot of our viewers. We're revved up for this 2026 season. Tons of storylines. I want to begin with the Union and first harken back to last year. The 20 wins, 8 on the road, 66 points, capturing the second Shield in club history. But how the Union changed the narrative as the season waned? From the start, a lot of question marks, and then how it finished. How does that almost parallel from what is taking place at the start of this year with so many guys that departed the team, and we have a lot of newcomers as well?
Yeah, it is very similar. Obviously, there's not a change of management, which is a huge thing with Bradley Carnell going into his second season. But I go back to this time last year. I didn't know what to expect from Philadelphia Union. Bradley Carnell, I knew him from St. Louis and always had a huge amount of respect for him. But then you had players leaving, and there was a lot of change. And I'll be the first one to admit what Philadelphia Union did last season, I didn't see it coming, and I even mentioned that to Bradley Carnell. But what I thought he did really well was, a lot of people were saying when the hot months come, when the heat comes, it's going to be very difficult. But he was very, very good, very clever, whichever way you want to look at it, in terms of being able to rotate the squad. And I think when you now fast forward it to this season, there's been a lot of change. A lot of senior players have gone, a lot of key players have gone. So it's going to be fascinating to see how this unfolds, because obviously they've made a few signings, and I'm sure there'll be more to come.
Yeah, one of those signings is a new club record transfer fee in Ezekiel Alido, coming from the top division in Sweden. Had 8 goals over 32 appearances across all competitions. Watching a ton of tape on him, Danny, pace, physical, is going to have that rapid speed up front. What have you seen on tape from Ezekiel Alido, and what can Union fans expect this go-around? And it's going to be his first foray in MLS, a totally different league.
Yeah, I think similar to what you're saying, I think he's got pace, but he also has the physical stature as well. I think one-on-one, he's going to be electric. He's going to be very difficult to play against. And one of the things I would say with Philadelphia Union, because they're a team that love to play in transition, they love to play in the counter-attack. They can play some wonderful possession-based football, which we saw last year with, I think it was a goal they scored away at Montreal, was just one of the goals of the season. But when you have a player that has pace, like Alido, it scares defenders. And you do one of two things. You play a high line while you're leaving space in behind, he's going to get into it. Or if you drop off, then all of a sudden, another key element for Philadelphia Union is your 2 number 10s. They're afforded extra time and space. So I feel as though you always have to have a centre forward that can stretch the game. Uwe did it exceptionally well while he was here, because you can talk about the skills that a centre forward may have, or a winger. For me as a former player, the thing that scared me more than anything was pace. Because if you were playing against someone that was quicker than you, you had to give yourself a yard or two depending on where the ball was, or you got really tight to them so they couldn't turn. So from a defender's side of things, it's very difficult, because you can drop deep, but if you're dropping deep, you're creating space for the 2 number 10s or the fullbacks to get forward and advance. So it looks as though he's going to be a very good signing, but more importantly, it looks as though he complements the players that are already at the club.
Coming up on the other side, Apple TV's Andrew Wiebe joins me for a conversation on the state of the Union heading into a new campaign. But before we break, here's this week's trivia question presented by United Concordia. How many players did the Union have making their first regular season appearance for the club in last season's opening night starting 11 against Orlando? The answer is later in our show. Union Insider is back in a flash. Welcome back. That was a look at the new 1776 kit the team will be sporting this year. Can't wait to ask our next guest about that and a whole lot more. I'm pleased to be joined by one of the biggest voices in the Major League Soccer community, a fixture on Apple TV's coverage as a sideline reporter, Andrew Wiebe. Thanks for taking some time to visit with us on what is undoubtedly a busy week.
Sage, I appreciate it. A huge week for all of us, I think, as MLS is back and we kick off the 2026 season. I am absolutely ecstatic for my own personal sort of MLS fandom and sicko status to be in LA this weekend at the Coliseum, one of the most incredible venues in all of sports, for Inter Miami LAFC. But I have to tell you, I am coming to Philadelphia very, very soon in March. I'm bringing my whole family for the game in Chester. So as much as I'm looking forward to match day one, I've got some Philadelphia coming in my future as well that I'm really, really excited for.
Hey, we're so excited to have you down in Chester. That being said, let's talk about the Union. Andrew, we documented the various ins and outs the Union have made over the course of the last several months in our last segment. You've had a little bit of time to digest those moves. What is your take on the Philadelphia Union's offseason?
Ins and outs, a good way to describe any Philadelphia Union winter. At this point, you just have to be accustomed to chopping and changing with the club. And I have to say, for many, that might be an issue. It might be a cause for concern. But for the Union, it generally feels like outs end up coming back in spades in the form of ins, and development and progression of careers is just sort of part of this club's DNA. But I am a little bit interested to see what happens with two guys who I think were just foundational members of this success for so many years, and that is Kai Wagner and then, of course, Jakob Glesnes. Those guys are foundational pieces, and we've seen other guys come and go and really the Union not miss a beat. I am curious to see what those departures mean, both short-term this season and long-term for the Union, and how other guys are able to step up. Listen, Oluwetu Makanya is one of my favorite players to watch in all of Major League Soccer. The responsibility on that back line really shifts to what is still a young center back. I am fascinated to see how he steps up and how he handles that responsibility with Glesnes gone.
Now, after all of those changes in the offseason, like you said, what do you think the national perception of the Union is overall right now?
I think more of the same, and that's not a knock at all. It's just sort of what the ethos of the club has been, as a place where players can come and develop and eventually, after a lot of success, make that next move. To me, the perception in Major League Soccer of the Union, particularly under Bradley Carnell, is very clear. Beware, be ready, be prepared for minute one, this team, this club, to come out swinging, to try to punch you in the face, and to do that for 90 minutes. I had the pleasure of being on the sideline for Union games a number of times last year, and I can tell you that experience is unlike watching any other team in Major League Soccer. There is an aggression, there is a confidence, there is just sort of a demand from Carnell to each of his players and those players to each other to be what they expect to be, which is one of the most aggressive, front foot forward teams in Major League Soccer. So I think the sort of the reputation is clear around MLS. Like, be prepared. Do not take a field against the Union if you're not willing to fight.
Not only will it be a new look lineup, the team will have a new look in terms of kit. We started this segment showing off the new 1776 kit for this season. Inquiring minds want to know, what do you make of it, and where does it sit for you in the pantheon of Union looks gone by?
Well, I knew this question was coming, and I'm no longer sort of the resident kit expert in my own household. That goes to my two sons, 5 and 8-year-old, who are obsessed with Major League Soccer and in particular love the kits. They are already asking for me to go to the pro shop when I hit Philadelphia to get them. From my personal perspective, I just love any time a club can tie not just their own history as an organization, but the history of their city, of the people they represent, to what they're doing. I love the blue, I love the gold, I always love the combinations that come. And this year in particular, I love sort of the intricacy of the designs on the kit that really land them in each city. I would expect Philadelphia Union fans to be super proud to rep that kit, and I would also expect that there's going to be two young men who walk out of the stadium in March wearing one of those as well.
Maybe 3. I heard there might be a Wiebe press kit already sitting up in the front office.
Maybe it'll be 3. Maybe I'll have to wear it out. Can't wear it on the field. We'll be fully suited and booted, Sage, but I'll be looking forward to that hitting my inbox.
So fans can enjoy all the Union regular season games by just having an Apple TV subscription this year, isn't that right?
That is right. It's Apple TV, and that's it. So you get all the wonderful shows that my wife and I love to binge on Apple TV. I am a little bit of a closet F1 fan, just dibbling and dabbling after Drive to Survive, so I'm excited for F1 to be there. But ultimately, what it's all about for me is anytime I want to watch Major League Soccer, I put out my phone, get my iPad out, put it on the TV, double box it. It's right there. It's easy. It's just Apple TV. Get the subscription, and you have it all.
I can feel your excitement, Andrew. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Hopefully we can do it again soon.
Thank you, Sage. I'll see you very soon.
Still to come on Union Insider, presented by Independence Blue Cross, Sheanon Williams joins me on set to lay out his new look starting 11 for tomorrow night's season opening match against DC United and provides his keys to a Union victory. Back with this week's Union Update presented by Torque. It was formally announced this week that the Ivory Coast will be using the Union's facilities in Chester as a base for their 2026 World Cup campaign. The team will train at Subaru Park and utilize the amenities provided by the Wisvis Bank Sportsplex. The Ivory Coast will play 2 matches in Philadelphia, June 14th against Ecuador and June 25th against Curacao. Back here on set, where I'm joined by former Union defender and current radio analyst Sheanon Williams. Sheanon, great to have you back. Let's jump into this weekend's match against DC United. Who do you think Bradley Carnell goes with for his first MLS starting 11 of the year?
For match day 1, my prediction is going to be Andre Blake in goal. The captain obviously takes back his spot after coming back from injury after last season. Nate Harriel out at right back, and then the new addition in the back line, Jeff Larson, going to be taking over that center back spot for Jacob Glesnes. Huge addition there. Owetu Makanya coming back, taking a huge leap. Hopefully, Frankie Westfield going to be moving out to that left back spot. Hopefully, this team will continue to add pieces, but I think Frankie is the day 1 starter at left back. In the midfield, we're going to have Indy Vasilov, I think, up on the right or left. We'll have to see how him and Olowski set up as a 10. And then one of the best midfield duos in all of MLS with Danley Jean-Jacques and Jovan Lukic. Up top, I expect Ezekiel Alado, the new signing, the big money man up top, to be paired with Damiani. I think this partnership is one that has to grow up. The Union are going to be exciting, especially in the attacking end this year.
So we've got your starting 11, and now I need your 2 keys to a Philadelphia Union win over DC United. Hit me with number 1.
My first key to the game is going to be for this Union team to be opportunistic in the final third. This is a DC team with a lot of changes, including their head coach, new goalkeeper, new center backs. Can this team do a good job of creating turnovers? We know that they're going to come out swinging, especially in this opening game. If we look back to last year, that game down in Orlando, this team came out with the tune of a ton of goals and a ton of opportunities. Can they look to do that again? Can they really be opportunistic off of turnovers of DC?
And what else do you think? What does this Union defense have to do?
My second one is going to be for this defense. Obviously, there's some changes. Frankie Westfield potentially moving to left back. Jeff Larson in the middle of that park. Can they have good leadership in the back line? Can they start to form that partnership that was so successful last year between Jacob Glesnes and Owetu Makanya? If they can do that and stay organized, this defense can be right back to where they were last year.
One more hydration break to sneak in. When we return, Sheanon and I will give you each a bold prediction for the 2026 season. Union Insider, presented by Independence Blue Cross, returns after this. We're back with the answer to this week's trivia question presented by United Concordia. Earlier in the show, we asked you, how many players did the Union have making their first senior team appearance for the club in last season's opening night starting 11? The answer is 3. Jovan Lukic started in the midfield, while Owetu Makanya and Frankie Westfield made up half of the back 4 as the Union beat Orlando on the road 4-2. How many new faces will we see from the start tomorrow night, I wonder? Time for this week's final whistle discussion presented by Allstate. It's the beginning of a brand new campaign, so it's bold prediction time. Sheanon, time to get out there on a limb. What is your bold prediction for the 2026 season?
My bold prediction for the 2026 season will be Owetu Makanya will win Defender of the Year in MLS. I think he's primed to make a huge leap and be the leader on this back line. I think he is more than capable of winning Defender of the Year in 2026.
My bold prediction is that Milan Iloski is going to be one of the most productive players in all of Major League Soccer, definitely in the Eastern Conference. I think he's hitting double digits in both goals and assists this year. And if the Philadelphia Union make it into the top 4 in the East, I think he's in the MVP conversation. That'll do it for the opening weekend of Union Insider. The Boys in Blue kick off their 2026 campaign tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, all you need now is an Apple TV subscription and you'll have full access to every regular season match this season. For Andrew Wiebe, Sheanon Williams, and our entire crew, thanks so much for joining us. We'll be here to preview every weekend match throughout the season, Friday nights at 11 p.m. here on PHL 17.